Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way being recorded. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass, live and in living color here with you only on Grande's Graveyard. And yes, we are here for another wrestling video, but it's not that type of wrestling video. I know I've been counting down my top 10 Wrestlemania matches of all time. Today, that series takes a backseat to a one-off video where I will be predicting the current WrestleMania, the WrestleMania that we have been building up to over the past 10 weeks or so, WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is, of course, this weekend's nights 1 and 2, respectively. And I figure I pull up the card here and I'll break down what I think of the matches, who I think is going to win ultimately. And then, of course, when you watch on Saturday or Sunday, you can kind of check off if you want to go along. You could do the book, if you will, and see how John Grande's predictions turn out only at WrestleMania. So I figured this will be something fun. I don't know how long this will be. It depends on how long I usually talk this out, so I'm not going to keep you any more suspense. We're about a minute in. Let's dive in to the WrestleMania 41 card. Now, I will be reading these off Wikipedia. This is how Wikipedia has them ordered. This is no like personal order or whatever the hell. I do know the obvious two night 1 and night 2 main events, of course. So those matches, of course, we'll talk about last on each respective night. And then, of course, the rest of the matches we'll just go in order here, how they are on Wikipedia. So night 1, match number 1, it looks like the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, are going to be defending their tag team titles, world tag team titles, against the New Day, the heel New Day, which it is absolutely crazy to me. The New Day 10 years ago, WrestleMania 31 was one of their first matches ever. And 10 years later, the New Day, Xavier Woods, and of course Kofi Kingston are still together. Big E Langston, unfortunately, I know, suffered that debilitating neck injury a few years ago, and he has not wrestled since. I don't know if you'll get... I could see them going away with this because I know they did the big segment where of course, Woods and Kofi turned their back on Big E, and we have not seen Big E on TV, to my knowledge, since that happened. I would love to see Big E somehow cost them the match, and then the War Raiders retain. But it's a situation here where I can't really go outside the box with my booking there. The War Raiders have not been doing anything on TV. They're really just filler, placeholder, paper champion, whatever term you want to use, unfortunately. I don't think it's the guy's fault. I think it's just lack of exposure on television. And I do think this is going to be a situation where the New Day are going to be crowned new tag team champions. So I have the New Day going over there in that match. I think the New Day will win that, and I think they will become the new world tag team champions for the umpteenth time. I don't even know how many times now they've been champs, but it seems like a lot. Second match, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I mean, I feel like I have to cheer for El Grande Americano just because of my name, but of course, if you don't know, the whole storyline there is Chad Gable has been wrestling under a lucha mask called El Grande Americano, and the idea is he's playing it off as, oh, I don't know who that is. That's not me under the mask. It's a whole thing where, where Hulk Hogan did Mr. America, with that whole, it's one of those gimmicks. But Chad Gable is very entertaining. I think he is just really fun. He eats great TV time. He runs that stable and faction really, really well. I think he's just one of those guys that every week you see him on TV, he can always make you laugh, smile, or like wow you, because the guy can really work in the ring too. Like, he's really a total package. He's a good talker, good promo, good character, good in the ring. He is a little bit too much like Kurt Angle in some ways, but I also think that's part of the charm. It's like his whole character is, I'm a modern day, tinier Kurt Angle with a bigger mouth. I think that's the type of character that he plays. And he's entertaining. That's the number one thing that a good mid-card / lower card heel should be, is entertaining. And of course, Rey Mysterio is an all-time legend, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats that is still going 19 years after he won his first world title, WrestleMania 22. Here he is still working WrestleManias. It's absolutely incredible. I think Rey puts the youth over. I got El Grande Americano winning here clean. Well, that won't be clean, but he will win. And of course, maybe we'll get the big unmasking moment at this year's WrestleMania where El Grande Americano is unmasked after the match or something. He's celebrating, and then maybe the LWO will run down after the injustice loss of Rey, and they'll unmask him. It'll make for a fun WrestleMania moment. I don't know. Maybe there'll be somebody throwing a pie in his face just to boot. I have no idea, but I think you'll get a fun moment there. This next match, Jade Cargill taking on Naomi. This is I think this is the third match in WrestleMania history, women's match WrestleMania history, that is not going to involve a title. or a title holder. So this is only the third time in the history of the show where we have a non-title women's match and a non-women's champion in a match at WrestleMania. And it's also the first time that's ever one-on-one. So that's absolute history. It took 41 years for that to happen. It's kind of crazy. Unfortunately, I am not really a big fan of either one of these women. Of course, we have Jade Cargill, the white meat babyface, who, of course, was pushed over, I guess, a dock and went onto the car in kayfabe. She was out for months and months, and it was revealed that it was her friend and replacement Naomi that is the one that pushed her through the car window. And, of course, she came out and said, I wish I pushed her harder, and she took my spot. She took my shine. You know, she took my glow, for lack of a better term. And, of course, now Jade is out for blood. Jade's out for revenge. I think Jade Cargill sucks. She can't talk. She looks like a mastodon, right? She's like a modern day Ultimate Warrior. She looks great, but she can't really work. I get nervous if she's in there in one-on-one matches. So if I'm Naomi, I'm scared for my life. I don't want to work with this lady. She's too dangerous. She's someone that's been in the business long enough now that she should not be considered still to be green to professional wrestling, yet she still is, and it seems like she's not improved very much, in my humble opinion. I think she's gotten even worse on the microphone. I think she was better on the mic in AEW than she even is in WWE. That's how bad Jade Cargill is, in my opinion. I just am not a fan. I don't care about the feud. I like blood feuds, but this is one where I'll be cheering for Naomi. I hope Naomi beats her because I can't stand or stomach Jade Cargill. I wish Jade Cargill would lose this match and retire from pro wrestling. That's just me. But that's not going to happen. Jade Cargill's going to win. It's going to be a super duper mastodon moment. Maybe fucking Superman will fly in and carry her off into fucking heavens, and Brandon Phillips and his family can golf clap at it. I don't know. But I do not give a shit. This is the piss break match of WrestleMania to me. I do not give a shit. I truly hope Naomi wins just because I cannot stomach Jade Cargill. Ew, no. You stink. You've not improved. You wanted time off to spend with your family when you've been in the business for 3 fucking years. Get the fuck out of here. No, not going to convince me. She's green. She sucks. Next matchup, LA Knight, the champion of the United States, takes on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is going to be their next big money guy. You could see it, and in the way that Triple H has protected him. Like, even when Jacob Fatu loses, it's like a screwy finish, or it'll be a triple threat where he can't take the fall. If it's any type of match where he's losing or on the losing side, he's never the guy to be taking the fall or submission. So they have big plans for him, and I do think it's going to start here with a big mid-card title run that'll probably run through SummerSlam. I think he'll be United States champion for quite some time. LA Knight's a guy I love. I really like LA Knight. I really feel like he should be past this level, but it's a situation where I don't think WWE has really booked him very well, and I think he's a guy that should be in a world title picture, and we'll get on with that with one of our next matches. But like, LA Knight's a guy that's great babyface. He's over. He's likable. Just a really, really good, in my opinion, good guy. I really like LA Knight. Just like everything about him. He's a good promo, good character, unique, different, and a decent enough mid-card champion. I think it's a situation where both men can be helped by this match. If it's a great match, if they have a WrestleMania Classic, you look at this as a double positive. Yes, Fatu is going to be moving on to bigger and better things, but now he's a filler of the mid-card title. And he can have his run with that. He could run through the stable. I'm the most dominant man in this roster. I'm going to run through everybody until he ultimately will drop it at some point. Hopefully, most likely going to be another screwy finish where he drops that. He'll maybe have a blood feud with Solo and then move on to a world title shot, because that's what it feels like it's going to be with Jacob Fatu. And as far as LA Knight, after he loses this match, I don't know. I think you have to put him in the world title pick. Like, where do you go? Like, if he doesn't move up and grow from this, I don't see what the hell they're going to do with LA Knight. Like, I truly hope LA Knight loses this match and then goes on to, like, win a qualifying match to become the number one contender for a world title. I think that's my next step with LA Knight if I'm booking this. I'm booking both these guys to, kind of both benefit from this match. But I think Jacob Fatu will win, and I hope it's a really, really good match. And these guys definitely can pull it off. Coming up next, the fifth match of the show, Tiffany Stratton, the WWE Women's Champion, defends against Charlotte Flair, the Royal Rumble winner. This, as far as the build has been concerned, I think has been the weakest of all the matches on WrestleMania. I don't think any match on WrestleMania has had a weaker build than this. I just do not care for the build. Tiffany won the title with the briefcase, cashing in on, of course, Nia Jax. There was never an official babyface turn, really, for her. It was just, I'm a babyface. And I don't know if Tiffy's character really complements being a baby face, but it's like, oh, we'll team you with Trish Stratus. We'll have you smile more. We'll have you say less. And it's like, that's kind of where they pushed her. She's been a very vanilla champion. And I don't mean that in the best of ways. She can still go. She's a tremendous talent in the ring. Prettiest moonsault ever. Gorgeous lady. Just a total package. Really, really one of the best women they have on that roster. There's no doubt. Charlotte Flair, of course, wins the Women's Rumble, which I groaned when it happened. Listen, there's no doubt Charlotte Flair is one of the best of all time when it comes to women's wrestlers. I just think when you're a 14-time champion, man, somebody else deserved that spot. You can't tell me Roxanne Perez wouldn't have been a more fun opponent. And they just had a great match, Tiffany and Roxanne Perez on a SmackDown. I would have been much more interested in that match. Two young up-and-comers fighting for the gold at WrestleMania. I think that would have made it for a compelling story. And there's a few other young women's talent that I would have picked over Charlotte Flair. But they, of course, went with Charlotte Flair. I think whatever their original plan for a story was here went to by the wayside because the fans just rebelled and have booed Charlotte Flair mercilessly since she's come back. It is not the type of heat that you want. It is truly go away heat. You came back from an injury you sustained in 2023, won the 2025 Royal Rumble, and they booed you like you have not missed a day in over 20 years. You have go away heat, Charlotte Flair, and they are absolutely just not wanting to see her anymore. Could they have a great match? Should they have a great match? Absolutely. I don't think the in-ring is in question. The build was shit because I truly do believe this was a big mistake from Hunter, a big mistake from whoever, made the big call to have her win this Rumble. I think they wanted to tell a teacher-student situation here where I see so much of myself in you and you're this up-and-comer just like I was, but I have to take you back to school. I have to put you behind the woodshed. That type of story. I think that's what you would have gotten here had the fans not rebelled and mercilessly started booing Charlotte. I think they uncomfortably had to turn her, and it's just been very awkward. They had the bad segment on SmackDown, when I know a lot of people are saying they went off the script. No matter what they did, if they stayed on or off the script, it was a bad segment that just got nobody over. It was bad type of heat. Just really, really poor segment, in my opinion. Poor build. Tiffany Stratton better win this match. I literally think the fans could riot if Tiffany Stratton does not win this match. Like, Charlotte needs to put her over, and if I was Charlotte, I'd fucking leave the company at that point. Like, there is no, you have go away heat, lady. Unless you're just in every feud to try to get people over, like you want to put, some other youthful talent over, I'm all for that. But man, as far as her winning the title again, I don't think anybody ever wants to see that again. I really don't. I just don't. It's an absolute moot point at this point. I don't know. I hope Tippy wins. I have Tippy going over, and I think that the fans will be very happy with that. I think this could be a show stealer. This could be a night one show stealer. These two could put on a really, really good match. Moving on, though, into the World Heavyweight Championship match, the champion Gunther will defend against main event Jey Uso, who, spoiler alert, is not in the main event. I mean, when Jey Uso won the Rumble, I was like, okay, at least it's somebody new. At least it's somebody we haven't seen to death in the title picture. He's earned his credentials. He's over with the kids. His merch is selling like fucking hotcakes. And we're all yeeting to WrestleMania, right? That's what I was telling myself when he won the Rumble. The storytelling since then, I feel like the guy has proved that he's not belonging and deserving of the spot. That's just my opinion. It's my hot take. I know a lot of people love main event Jey. That's cool. Good on you. I'm not a fan of him. I think the super kick spams, it's enough. The fucking entrance is the only reason he's really over. His promos are absolute dog shit. Like, the fact that they could not learn how to cut a good promo in the past 10 weeks. You know what I'm saying, Oos? Nobody knows what the fuck you're saying, Jay. You fucking stink. Oos, I ain't scared no more. I win it for my mama. I'm gonna win it for little Jimmy. I'm gonna win it for my dad. Buddy, you stink. You're not believable. He sucks as an actor, like with the acting ability of pro wrestling, right? When his brother's being beaten and bleeding all over the fucking place, he's just like, yeah, this is brutal. Like, buddy, selling. Like, I was sitting there like, buddy, if that was my fucking sibling, I'd be crying for real. But now this one, you be zip tied, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't believe him. I don't buy him. He's over, though, with the kiddies. That's what matters. Triple H really, I think, wants to make a new guy, and I respect that. I really do. Gunther, while his run has been very lackluster, right? I mean, how many great matches has he had in this title run? Not many. I don't know if they booked him properly as a world's champion. The guy is a great talent, great talker, great champion, very believable, very intense, very just an overall very tremendous talent as well is Gunther. But I do think he's going to get the loss here. I don't think they're going to go against main event Jay. This is to the point where they have built this so much where everyone says I can't, but I'm gonna, and I'm gonna do it for my family and my brother that you put in the ICU, and I'm gonna do it for all the little kids out there. Like, they have built this to the point where if Jey Uso doesn't win, they either A, have to take him off TV, or B, turn him heel immediately, like the next night on Raw. Like, he has to turn heel. Like, that is to the point where they have booked themselves into the corner. And Vince loved to do that. Triple H has not done it too much, but here is a situation. If Jey Uso doesn't win, you're booked into a corner, and the guy's career will most likely fucking end. And I don't think it's a situation where that should happen. I think they're going to have him win, and I think he's going to prove to you that he's never belonging of the spot. So it is what it is. I have Jey Uso going over here. Not really looking forward to this match, though. I would like to see Gunther retain, but at the point of, losing Jey Uso's fucking career, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth that. This is a weird match. It really is. Will they have an okay match? I think they'll have an okay match. I don't know if he'll work as good a match with Gunther that Randy Orton did. I don't know if he'll work as good a match with Gunther as Damian Priest did, as LA Knight could have. I would have much rather have Damian Priest or LA Knight got this spot over Jey Uso. But I guess merch talks, money talks, and the yeet, everyone's yeet, 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 and yeet. I don't know, but it is what it is. I have Jey Uso winning the title, and I think that Gunther, I don't know what the fuck happens to Gunther. Maybe they'll take Gunther off TV for a little while. I have no fucking clue. But the main event of night one, of course, Saturday night's main event, for real, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman in his corner versus Seth Rollins. There's no stakes, really. The whole storyline on this has been, whose side will Paul Heyman be on? Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and then, of course, Seth Rollins was just sprinkled in the middle, I guess, because they had nothing else for him. It kind of screams of we didn't have anything else for Seth, so just throw him in this match. I mean, this is a weird one. I wish there was some sort of stake. Like, it's just a triple threat. Like, it's not the winner doesn't win anything. The winner just wins the match, and that's it. I know it's CM Punk's first main event, which to me, the main event is the main event, not this. But whatever. Roman Reigns has had Paul Heyman leave him because of the favor for CM Punk. Seth Rollins then curb stomp Punk and says to Heyman, now you owe me a favor. What does that mean? I think if I'm booking this, I would say that I would have the most unlikely of the winners come out of this, because a lot of people are probably wondering, will Punk ally with Heyman for good? Will Heyman turn his back on Roman forever? Will Heyman ever turn his back to his tribal chief? I would say none of that. I would say, to swerve everybody, Heyman kind of causes the decision and Seth Rollins somehow wins the match. Seth Rollins pins Punk or Reigns. And, of course, WrestleMania Night 1 ends with the shocking moment of, holy shit, Paul Heyman has aligned himself with the one person that he hasn't really, been with ever. And then Roman and Punk are kind of left stunned after the main event of Night 1. I think that's how I would go with this. That's what I actually am going to predict will happen here. I think Seth Rollins will get the rub, will get the win. I think he needs it the most of the three of them. I actually can't see Roman Reigns winning. I think Roman's going to take more time off. I don't think he's promoted for any shows post-WrestleMania, so I think Roman Reigns does lose here. As for Punk, I don't think Punk needs it. I think Punk got his main event. I don't think it matters win, lose, or draw to him. I think it's just the spot, and it's, in his eyes, the main event, even though he's a hypocrite, because he even said, why don't you main event night 4 of an all-you-can-eat extravaganza and tell me, whatever the fuck he said. I don't care. I mean, to me, Night 1 main event is not the main event. That's just me. But I think Rollins goes over. I have Seth Rollins going over here and allying with Paul Heyman as WrestleMania Night 1 comes to an end and everyone will be selling their faces off. I think that's what will happen there. Night 2, WrestleMania Night 2, only 6 matches. Match number 1, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Of course, the IC Women's Champion is Lyra Valkyria. This is another match that they just sort of threw together, most likely to get Bayley and Lyra on the card, if we're being perfectly honest. I mean, with this particular match, I don't know. I mean, I I like Lyra Valkyria a lot. I think Lyra Valkyria is actually a really, really good talent, and I really like her stuff, like, as a wrestler. Bayley is one that I've never liked her character. I think she can work, but it's a situation where she's just never been over with me. I've never been a big Bayley fan. And then as far as Liv and Raquel, they're very bland heels to me. Like, I'm not really a big fan of their entire heel run or anything like that. I just think it's kind of vanilla. It's kind of, I don't know. There's not much to it. I'm not a big. Liv Morgan's very improved. I'll say she's improved a lot in the ring, and she's one of their most over heel women's wrestlers. Probably the number one heel woman wrestler they have is Liv Morgan. So it's kind of surprising that she kind of got delegated after the year-long title reign to this tag shot. I would say Liv and Raquel will retain here. I think you'll have a decent enough match, and I think maybe, just maybe, you'll do a thing after the match where Bayley maybe turns on Lyra, and that'll set up a women's IC feud moving down the road. Maybe they'll do something like that. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, but I'll say Liv and Raquel will win for now. Next match, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Of course, this is been an okay build. It's been whatever, kind of mediocre. This is a match where I don't particularly know. I mean, the build hasn't been much, right? The build hasn't really been anything as fantastical. I'm not a big Logan Paul fan at all. I think he's a piece of shit human. AJ Styles is a legend. I love AJ Styles. I would like to pick AJ Styles, but I'm not kidding myself. I think Logan Paul will probably get the win. This is going to be one of AJ Styles, if not his last Wrestlemania matches. So I see him putting the young talent, if you want to call it that, over. I hate Logan Paul. I don't like him. He's a piece of shit person. He's not a good promo. His matches are fucking rehearsed. He's ugly as fuck. Go buy more Pokemon cards because your mother didn't love you enough. I hate Logan Paul, and I forever fucking will. I hope AJ Styles wins, but I can't go against my brain here. My brain says AJ Styles will lose to Logan Paul. Next match, fatal four-way for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker, the champion, defends against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Dirty Dom. Speaking of Dirty Dom, this is Dirty Dom's big moment as a pro wrestler. I think that Dirty Dom Mysterio will win the Intercontinental Championship here from Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor. I think the whole story they've been telling with Judgment Day imploding, it's finally going to come here where Finn Balor will probably have the match won somehow, and then Dominic will roll him up or something like that. Dominic's going to steal the title by pinning Finn, thus protecting Penta and Braun. And then, of course, you're off to the races where Finn Balor will become a babyface and try to chase down Dirty Dom in the Judgment Day, if I could fucking speak. That's how I see this match going. I like Penta and Braun will, the reason it's a fatal four-way is because they have to be protected in the eyes of Paul Levesque. And that's why neither one of them will eat the fall. Braun will lose the title and probably move on to main event, whereas Penta, I think, will stay in the mid-card. Penta will be another guy that'll be in the feud with Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. I could totally see the three of them working, a lot of matches over the next coming months, backlashes and whatnot. So yeah, that's how I see that match going. I think Dirty Dom finally gets his big moment and wins some gold on the main roster. Next match is a Sin City street fight. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. I really like both these guys. I think these guys are fucking really good. Drew McIntyre was my superstar of the year last year. I think the guy is just one of the best promos on the show. Always puts on great matches. Just always is entertaining. Making a mid-card match feel a little bit bigger than a mid-card. I like that. Damian Priest is another guy I think is tremendous in the ring. Really like his work. His promos are iffy, but they're passable for a babyface. I sort of think they fucked him in how when he was the world champion, how he was booked as this tweener that didn't need help, but always did need help, but he wouldn't come out and say heelish things. He was like, oh, I'm this great champion. I was like, buddy, like, you can't beat man event Jey Uso clean. Like, come on. Like, I think his whole world title run was the worst thing Triple H has done since being the head booker. Like, they really did not book Damian Priest strong as a world champion. I do think he's going to get the win here over Drew McIntyre in a brutal Sin City street fight. I think it's going to be a fun babyface moment, a fun, 15, 20-minute brawl on the show. And I do think that Damian Priest will hit a south of heaven in some kind of fantastical way, maybe through a table and pin Drew McIntyre from there. So that's who I have there. I think Damian Priest is going to win. Next match, which I think is going to be the match of the weekend. Io Sky, the women's world champion, defends against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Of course, I'm rocking it. The Io Sky shirt, the Genius of the Sky, my favorite pro wrestler in the whole wide world. I'm a huge fan. I know that a lot of people that are fans of Io do not like the way this match has been built. And then vice versa, the people that like Rhea Ripley and Bianca did not really seem to want Io Sky in the equation. It's been a weird, awkward road to kind of get to this point where Io Sky on a offshoot Monday Night Raw wins the women's title from Rhea Ripley, who in by all means is their most over women's wrestler. There's no doubt. Like, she's the stone cold Steve Austin of the women's division. Like, she really, really is. She's super over, and she's good talent. And don't get me wrong, Bianca can go too. I think this is a situation where Triple H knows that Rhea doesn't need that fucking belt. She doesn't. And a situation where Bianca doesn't need that fucking belt. Bianca's like 7-0. She's the female John Cena. I always call Bianca Belair as the female John Cena. She is absolutely, the way they market her, the way she wins her matches, the super Bianca moments, she's John Cena. It's the closest talent they've ever got to John Cena is Bianca Belair. It's actually fucking crazy. Although she doesn't really have a character. Her character is I have long hair. That's her fucking character, really. So that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think either one of them need a title. I truly think Io Sky does need the title because Io is in the situation where she can't speak much English. It's broken English. She doesn't have that connection with the audience verbally. Where she talks, where she does her best stuff is in the ring. She does some of the most amazing things you will see, and she's the woman that I've always said this, the woman can touch the clouds. She's absolutely tremendous as just a crazy in-ring talent, always entertaining, always exciting. And I think they're going to have the match of the show. This is my prediction for match of the weekend will be Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. And I think you're going to have a fun finish where Io somehow wins the belt. And I do think Rhea and Bianca will get that one-on-one blood feud that many people want because they don't believe that Io is credible or she's too diminutive, whatever everyone wants to knock Io Sky. I'm sorry, knock somewhere else, man, because that door ain't opening up. Io Sky is great. You're going to get your blood feud, and I think Io Sky is going to get a monster babyface run with the belt on Monday Night Raw, and she'll get to work all these up-and-coming women heels. That's what I hope happens. I don't want to see Bianca win it. I don't want to see Rhea win it. They don't fucking need it. They need each other, if that makes sense. They need to have that blood feud. Who's the better woman, 101. But the title does not need to be involved. The genius of the sky, the best wrestler in the world, the women's world champion, will retain the gold at WrestleMania in the match of the weekend. Io Sky is my pick of the weekend. Let's go, Io. Wow, lastly but not leastly, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the WWE Undisputed Champion, will defend the title against the Elimination Chamber winner, the newly heel-turned John Cena. Yes, John Cena in his final WrestleMania match. This has definitely got people talking. It's got everyone excited. It's gotten people that do not watch the product normally to watch the product again and got them excited about it again. It's a situation where you grab the guy from yesteryear, one of the all-time greats that's been going for over 20 years in John Cena, to take on the current white meat babyface that's on top, the top guy in the company in the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And of course, 1 year the champion, of course, removed from last year in Philadelphia, WrestleMania 40, when Cody finally finishes the story and beats the unbeatable Roman Reigns in the championship main event and has his moment. He's had a fun run with the title. Really like the stuff with Kevin Owens. And I hope Kevin Owens gets well soon. That was really a bummer that him and Randy get scratched from this card, but I digress. I really like the story. I like the whole thing where, John Cena saying that, someone who is mediocre, who is carrying this title, his chauffeur, is just enough to trick people nowadays, and how Cody Rhodes could never work as hard as John Cena, and how Cody Rhodes can never be the next John Cena because he doesn't look like him, act like him. He's not like John Cena. There's only one John Cena. John Cena eventually, after time, decided to bury himself. And of course, John Cena doesn't bury talent. John Cena buries mediocrity. And of course, Cody Rhodes went from unfreaking, desirable to unfreaking deniable. And of course, John Cena says, you're underwhelming. That's the only under that you are. This could go a lot of ways. People are split. It seems like from what I've heard, more people are on the Cena bandwagon. I'm going to go Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes retains here, and I think Cody Rhodes will have his true passing of the torch moment, because that's really all it's missing, right? Yes, you're the guy. You're the anointed champion. You've run this place for about a year. You've done a really good job. The kids love him. He's still over. They still sing his name. John Cena really, I think, in his last WrestleMania, this is a situation and a chance for him to really make Cody Rhodes that next main event guy. And I think that John Cena will do the right thing and will put Cody Rhodes over. Now, I know a lot of people consider that will The Rock be involved? Will Travis Scott be involved? Will there be run-ins? Will Stone Cold Steve Austin drive his ATV down in the ring? I don't know. That stuff could all happen. I could totally see Stone Cold helping Cody and Cody winning again, just like last year's Mania. I don't know if I would do that twice, though. I would probably just leave it to Cena versus Cody. I don't know if I would throw anybody else in there. I don't know if I'd have a Rock run in or a Stone Cold run in. I mean, they may do it. I'm not going to rule that out. But as far as my prediction, I think the American Nightmare wins. I think you have an all-time great WrestleMania main event. I think I could predict Cena turning right back babyface at the end of the match, where Cena raises his hand and realizes he was wrong. He learned from his mistakes and kind of, begrudgingly shows that Cody Rhodes is the next guy in this company. So that's my predictions for WrestleMania. Of course, 13 matches, an unlucky number. Let's hope not. Now, you could get matches added to this. You could. I know they, Chelsea Green doesn't have a match. Randy Orton's match was scratched. Will he fight Nick Aldis? We'll find out, I guess, on WrestleMania Saturday and or Sunday. I don't know. For me, if they add anything, I do think Randy will go over. I don't think Randy's going to lose to fucking Nick Aldis. But I don't know. For right now, those are the 13 matches that are in stone, and it is Wednesday, so I figured why not record this right here and right now. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this. This has been a fun half hour of predicting WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas NV. If you're watching the show, let me know what your picks are. If you want to comment down below what you have for WrestleMania match predictions, for match of the weekend predictions, whatever you want to call them. I am all ears to hear that. So everybody, thank you so much, and hope you have a safe, happy, healthy day only on the Graveyard. Too sweet peace. Catch y'all later. Only on the Graveyard.